How's it going, everyone? We're here to check out the top skins that are in for this next week. And starting off, before we get in, if you're new to this, there aren't going to be like 100 skins added to the shop this week. Only 8 to 10 or so make it in every week, which the lead dev help picks out himself every week. So some of these have a chance, but not all of them will make them in, and if they don't, they probably never will. There are sometimes a chance we most wanted or complete the sets later on, but pretty much if it's passed, it's passed. So, first off, we've got a bandana and a hide poncho for you, and it's strawberry time. I mean, look at that. There you go. Next, we have a continuation of the sun face set with the poncho, and this one's quite fancy looking. It has a nice little velvety kind of look to it, with the beautiful shining sun rays coming out around the collar. Definitely a very bright and fantastic looking poncho. Next, we've got a very wild looking set for you. It's the Tiger Crown set, and the whole thing is made to look kind of like a leather hoodie and pants kind of thing with a little bit of armoring and tiger print. And I like how the arms are actually wraps to make the stripes. I think that's very creative. And same thing is done here on the wraps on the legs, and then you have the tiger print coming through as the bottom cloth. Definitely a very cool way to do the design. Next, we got some boots for you, and they should look pretty familiar if you take a look at them. They're the military boots, and this is version 2. They have a little more detail to them, a little more shine, and they have the nice little stars here in the front, some wear and tear, and I really think the mesh was updated on this part, like the literal mesh right there. I don't know, one way or another, definitely been a very popular set, so I could see these selling well if they made in. Next, we've got boots and gloves for you, and the road sign gloves here, as you can see, are from the JPEG set, as you would expect. And then, of course, we've got the matching boots, which are just these lovely work boots that go right with it. This has also been a very high-selling, popular set, so I could also see these having a good chance popping in this week. Next, we've got some road sign for you, and this one is pretty unique. It is the King Crab set by Frog, and as you can see, the whole thing kind of looks like crab armor, or the outside, I should say, shell of a crab, covered in algae with barnacles all over it and some other sea creatures here and there. Definitely a fun seaside little set. Last but not least, we do have a high-qual set for you, and it is the Frog cosplay set by Milo. He's redone it a little bit. I think the frog face looks a little friendlier, kind of reshaped it a little bit. And you still have the little lily pad on the front. You still have the wetness, and I think the straps have been changed with the leather and so forth. But it's a little bit hard to remember back. Yeah, there's so many skins that I look at, but I'm sure you guys can spot the differences as well. Alright guys, next up we have our deployables, and we have a lot of boxes. Everyone decided to make boxes this week, and a lot of small ones actually. So first up, we've got a return of the neon boxes from Doc with number 19 here as the card box. Hopefully this has a chance because the small boxes never got in, and this set did amazingly well. Next, we've got some small camo boxes with the snow and forest camo boxes for you. Then over here, we've got a little box that just says box. It's the Chatter storage box, definitely themed for the hopefully upcoming emoji update. Then over here, we've got some Torchlight for you, matchboxes to be specific for anyone who might be from America. There you go, a matchbox box. Next over here, we've got a little medical box for you, and it's the DIY storage medical box. So there you go, lots of little hand scribbles on it. Then over here, we've got a set of boxes for you. These are the wood storage boxes, ammo edition 556 and incendiary 556. Then over here, we've got some more container boxes for you with number 2 container from Decap. Then we've got number 2 in the ammo container from Ja. And then over here, we've got a sulfur box for you, the CRT monitor sulfur storage. Definitely quite nice. Has that kind of techie look for it. Don't know if that's too techie for help, but hey, it doesn't hurt. Next over here, we've got a double set of boxes, a blue and a green. These are the secure unit large boxes. They definitely do look like a secure storage box, which I think is pretty neat. Then over here, speaking of things that look like things, we've got an elite crate box for you, of course, in the collection by Gibba. And it has a glowing and non-glowing version, so we'll show you that here shortly. Moving on, we've got another medical box, but this one's quite overgrown. It's the Medical Lunacy box. Then moving on, we've got another container box. This is container box number 2 from Wag's container set. Then we've got an armor box for you with the large wood armor box. There you go. And over here, lastly, we've got the billboard metal box for you. This week we also have a single furnace for you. This one here is the Ancient Furnace version 2. As you can see, the whole thing kind of looks like it's made out of clay, and it has various chunks of ore and rock sticking through it. Next, we've got ourselves a rug, and it's a polar bear rug, to be specific. It's kind of a simple idea, but it definitely is a nice little update. And hey, if you live in the snow, you can feel like you have the right colored bear rug, I guess. I don't know, to go along with the theme. Next, we've got some wooden doors for you. This first one has a nice little swirl to it. This is the black hole wooden door. If we go ahead and take a look at the back of it here. Then we've got a tilted door for you. This one comes in a red and a blue version. If you ever want to confuse people with a weird looking door, well, this would definitely be the one for that. Moving on, we've got another very weird but creepy door, I would say. It's the live oil garage door, and I guess the eyeballs are part of the oil, so the oil's alive. Creepy. Over here, we've got another one for you. This is the crash test sheet metal door. It comes in this orange as well as a gray version, which you can see down in the description of the video. I always have a link to the workshop. Then over here, we've got a dragon door for you. It's the Dragon Lord door, to be specific, by Little Ranger. Then we have the coal golem for you here. Moving on, we've got kind of a fancy looking door that has, I don't know, is it kind of like a Viking or Celtic kind of feel to it? One way or another, it is called the Glass of Life. Next, we've got another door. This one might be a little too much. It's the High Danger door. It has two versions, one that's completely see-through like this one, and one that isn't transparent. So I doubt the transparent one has a chance, because that's very transparent. That would be the most transparent door Rust ever released. So yeah, usually they only kind of do little viewy holes, but hey, you never know. Next over here, we've got another door. This one's a part of a 3 set. It comes in pink, green, and a reddish kind of color. This, of course, is the magenta pinkish kind of one. Next over here, we've got a Starman door for you, but I can't help but feel like the whole thing kind of looks like a dick and balls. So I don't know about that, but I mean, just maybe it's the flesh tone colors used in the rocket exhaust and everything, but yeah. If that wasn't done on purpose, people with a dirty mind, like myself, I don't know. Anyways, moving on, we've got one last single sheet metal door for you, the Sin of Greed door by Kyber. Moving on, we've got what could be the second piece in a possible collection from Johnny, the Monuments Glass double door. Definitely a beautiful one. Captures all the sea stuff. Very, very cool. Then we've got some garage doors. First one up is the Vacation garage door. Then we've got a kind of scrapped together look with the Advisor garage door. Moving on, we've got another one for you, the Mystic Skull garage door. Alright, and next we've got one more garage door for you. We've got the Pineapple Neon garage door. Definitely has a cool little roller with the bamboo implemented there and throughout it, and has a little light switch and so forth. Definitely has a very nice kind of chill bass vibe. Next over here, we've got some armor doors for you. The first one is a continuation in the Danger Zone set, as you can see here. Then we've got one for Glacial Visage for you. And lastly, we've got a double armor door for the container theme here. This one comes in several colors, but we're showing you the green one. You can see the other ones down in the description link below. And then there's the backs of those. All right, let's go ahead and kill the lights here, and we'll take a look on the back side of those. Here's the front, and let's go ahead and continue on down our line here. Let me cruise on over here. First, just kind of has like a normal glow thing going on, as you can see. And then we'll cruise kind of past each box. Try to get the top and side there. Very bright and nice and clear on that one, what's going on. And I believe we've got, yep, the card box all the way down here. And there we have it. Next, we've got our tools and weapons, and first off, we've got ourselves a little stone hammer here for you, and yeah, it's called the Rock Hammer. I mean, pretty straightforward name there, right? Next, we've got a little rock for you, and it's a continuation in the Pet Rock set by Keck, and is the Duck Rock. Mostly kind of just looks like a white blob. Maybe the face could have been on the other side, but then it doesn't give the wing effect on that one side. Yeah, definitely a tough one there. Next, we've got some tools for you, and these are the From Hell metal tools. There's the hatchet, and then you've got the pickaxe. And as you can see, they actually have like a hot tip, as well as a little bit of carving out. And of course, everyone's going to ask, do they glow? And they do. So that is a bit of a disadvantage at night. But boy, do they look quite cool. Moving on from that, we've got another tool set for you right here with a nice metal hatchet from Raven set. And the matching pickaxe to go along with it. Next, we've got a bow for you, and as you can see, this one here looks like it is made all out of twigs and vines. This is the Roots bow. Then we've got some crossies for you. This one should be pretty obvious that it is from the Chemical Burn set. As you can see, it is full of, well, chemical burns. Can't really miss that. Moving on, we've got another crossie for you, and this one is made out of all sorts of bones. It is the Bare Bones crossbow. Two different versions. There's one with a cutout and without. As you can see, this one is definitely the one with the cut, and I think it looks really cool. Like, it actually is made out of bones. Structurally, that probably wouldn't quite work, but hey, it's not really exactly a realism thing. Next, we've got some pumpies for you. The first one here is from the El Diablo set. And again, this is one set that does look like it glows, but it does not. So that is a plus if you're trying to hide out at night. Aiming down the sights here, it is kind of just a charcoal black against charcoal black, which maybe they had made the tip bright or something like that. Next, we've got another pumpy for you, and this one here is all cobalt themed. This is the Cobalt Pump Shotgun. It has a nice kind of metallic hue to it, as you can see, as the light kind of shines off of it, which is quite nice. Aiming down the sights here, you've got a metallic red tip, and a nice little atomic symbol there on the back of the shell holder. Last in this group, we've got a little Revy for you, and this one has a nice kind of like gold trim to it. This is the Polaris revolver. Aiming down the sights here, you've got gold versus black, and a nice little symbol on the back of it there. Next up, we've got some saps for you. This first one has a nice Damascus steel look to it, and, well, it's the Sap Damascus Steel level 2, I almost said, version 2. This one is leveled to level 2. Aiming down the sights here, you've got some black sights versus the silver there, but the tip is the same as the rest of the sights. Next one up, we've got a kind of similar theme here with a little bit of urban camo and some red lines on another black and red kind of looking sap with the black camo sap. Aiming down the sights, you've got red tips to the black sight. Next, we've got another kind of black looking gun for you in the sap collection. This one has that kind of snakeskin look to it. This is the Ranger semi-auto pistol. Aiming down the sights, you've got a red tip versus the black and kind of matted gray, dark gray there. Next, we've got a custom for you. It should look pretty familiar as it is from the Tier 3 set. Tier 3 set has been very popular, so I could definitely see this one popping in this next week. Aiming down the sights, you've got that big red button and a nice red tip against the iron sights there. Next, we've got a Thompson for you, and this one's looking like it's made out of wood, and is therefore, well, the wooden Thompson. Continuation Glider's wooden set has some nice little carvings and etchings on it. Aiming down the sights here, you got a silly little face, a dead face, I should say, and there is our reload. Next up, we've got a couple MP5, starting off with this one right here, which has a nice kind of shiny galaxy thing going on. It's got this purple background with stars as the Galaxy MP5, of course. Name aptly goes along with it. Aiming down the sights here, you've got kind of a golden ring that kind of changes colors depending on how it's hit, with purple and red tipped sight. Our next MP5 is definitely trippy and hypnotic, and well, it is the hypnotic MP5, of course. Aiming down the sights here, you've got a red and black sight versus the blue ring. And if we pop a reload, there we go. Next, we've got a continuation in the Arctic Skull set with the MP5. It's got a cool spine going along the top there, and of course, as always, when you aim down the sights, you kind of got that tempered ring with a red tip. And when you reload, you shove the bottom jaw right back in there. Next, we've got a kind of rusty looking MP5, but people definitely been calling for this kind of stuff. It is the Corrosion MP5. Definitely has a very worn and used look. Aiming down the sights here, you have a white painted tip against the rust. Next, we've got a couple SARs for you, and this first one has some beautiful little clownfish drawn on it, but it also has a very kind of like exquisite look to the SAR itself with some gold trim. Looks like it used to be a pretty fancy looking gun. Aiming down the sights here, you've got some gold versus that fading black and a little fish drawn on the back there. Next, we've got another SAR for you, and this one is the Banana SAR, so it's the Sarnana, of course. As you can see, it is also a stockless one, and it has a yellow sight on yellow sight. I mean, hey, banana, banana, right? Next up, we've got another SAR for you, and this one is also yellow, but it's on the other side with some cheese, and is, well, the cheese SAR. Aiming down the sights here, you've got some black-tipped sights. And if we go ahead and pop a reload, you can see you're actually putting a cheese grater into it right there, which is definitely funny. Alright, continuing with our SARs, we've got a kind of blue and rainbowy purple kind of springtime looking one for you with the Sunrise SAR. Aiming down the sights, you've got purple against blue with a kind of faded, crusty paint. And there's that reload there. Next, we've got another SAR for you, and it looks like it's another piece in the Raider set by Vlad. Aiming down the sights here, you've got a crown, which I'm not too sure about that, because it's kind of like an emoji thing. I don't know if that's really honestly allowed. And you've got a red tip against kind of like the fading metal there. Yeah, that one's a bit of a tough one. It's kind of, you know, anyone can use it, but I think someone might own it. I don't know. I guess if you alter it a bit, it's fine. Next, we've got some AKs for you, and this first one has a splash of metal going on. To be specific, a kind of liquid metal. To me, it kind of looks like mercury, I would say. Aiming down the sights, you've got kind of just that blinding metal and black sights, really. Do wish maybe there was a bit more color in the front of the gun there. Next, we've got a very colorful AR for you. This one is the Fluid AR. Definitely a nice kind of neon green thing going on. And if you notice, it is stockless as well. Aiming down the sights, you've got faded black paint over the iron sights. Next, we've got another AR for you, and this one is all sorts of kind of teched up. It looks crazy. It is the Airplane AK-47. Everything's kind of just made out of different panels, which is really cool. Aiming down the sights there, you've got kind of what looks like a little engine and very metallic iron sights. Next in this crew, we've got one more AK for you, and this one's a little more home looking. This is the Chaser AK. Looks like it was kind of painted at home, and it has kind of like a very, you know, made look to it, which I think fits Rust beautifully. And the color scheme is always a very popular kind of orange, gray, and white, very popular in esports. Aiming down the sights here, you've got a very different kind of sight with that kind of tan versus the almost coppery tips and a very, very, very light green tip to it right there. Next up, we've got a bolty for you, and if its skin will load in, there we go. You can see the whole thing is made out of very mossy looking wood. It looks like this thing's kind of been sitting in a swamp or something. This is the Bark Bolty by Bad Trip. Aiming down the sights here, you can see there's kind of like a mossy sights. We'll go ahead and do a reload. And there you have it. Next, we've got an M249 for you, and it is the version 2 of the Redemption M249. This set has done very well as it popped into the store, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see this sexy M249 pop in there. Whole thing just has this very industrial and beautiful sleek cut look to it, some carbon fiber and everything. Aiming down the sights, you've got black versus that metallic red. Even the bullets themselves are all fancied up with some metallic casings there. Boom, there's that reload. One more look at it. And last but not least, we have a satchel charge, and it's the nuclear missile silo satchel. And as you can see, it has this big old screen. Then, of course, you're going to ask, does it glow? And, well, of course it does, because that screen has to light up, right? But that's it, everyone. That does it. Sound off down in the comment section below which ones you're hoping to make it in the shop this next week. Always love to hear that feedback from you. And thanks for watching. Stay rusty. Have a good one.